Okay, right, this time it's gonna work. I've tried. Okay. First take on attempting to do Frieren Season 2, Episode 2. First time. This is the first time I'm trying to record it. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Welcome to Frieren Season 2, Episode 2, the episode that I'm gonna record a reaction to on this channel, which is my chill out and relax channel, so I don't want to have to do too much work to do it, which is why I'm not going to show you any anime footage on screen. That's not what we do here because of copyright, bots, and shit. I don't want to get nuked from orbit, please. Instead, you have got a timestamp at the top left corner. You've got subtitles on the bottom of the screen to help you stay in sync with where I am in the episode, because you have to have your own copy, legally obtained, of course, on your own computer, and I will help you stay in sync with me by saying 3, 2, 1. Go, and then we go together, and then occasionally I'm gonna need to stop and yap about something, and I'll say 3, 2, 1, pause, and then when I'm done, I'll say 3, 2, 1, go again. And that's how we're gonna stay in sync, right? You got it? You got it. Good. Then let's get fucking going, because this is the first time I'm recording this intro, and I'm starting to get impatient about getting into the episode. 3, 2, 1, go. The constant use of the flower blooming imagery. They go hard on the orchestral. I love the spells. Aha, a different hero. I wonder if we get much more on the demons in this season. Oh. look at that fucking doll animation. Wait, how the fuck did they do that? Hang on, wait. 3, 2, 1, pause. I was not paying attention to anything anyone said. I did not catch anything anyone said there. I'm gonna have to go over it again. But how are we doing those puppets? Hang on a minute. Because you can, it's line work. Like, it's not. I know better than to think that this production ever rotoscopes anything, but this has to be. So much of this, like, so much of the motion aesthetic here feels like it should be 3D. Right? It really ought to be 3D. But when you zoom in and you look at the line work, you can see that the lines are inconsistent, which is a thing that, like, generally one of the tells for 3D is that when you zoom in, even if they do like a shader, even if they do like outlines and shit, those lines are going to be 110% consistent, right? Because it's a 3D program. It's doing it with math. It doesn't need any help. But there's so much fucking line wobble here. And the thing is, it's possible that this is 3D. It's possible that what they've done is that they found a way to do like a shader or transformer or something that creates these line wobbles. Hang on, someone posted an Instagram link in chat. What do we got here? It was inspired by a real puppet theater. It doesn't want to play for me, unfortunately. Stupid fucking reels. Okay. But yeah, like, presumably, because, like, the motion here is in many ways too good to be, like, hand animated. It has the aesthetic of rotoscoping, but then there's shit like this. That's a motion smear. That, you don't rotoscope that, right? Like, that shit doesn't happen in rotoscope. That's an artistic flourish that a human artist has to put in there, because there's no anything that you can do to rotoscope your way to a motion smear, right? So there must be some mixture of, like, heavy visual reference and like probably some degree of rotoscoping, but then also a lot of human interpretation over top of that. Anyway, what does the subtitle say? And just a year here now, the Demon King's front line reached the northernmost end of the northern plateau. That's where he was defeated by Schlacht the Omniscient. Yeah, because, like, you can see that there's a primitivity to it a lot of the time, right? Especially when things are moving fast, where they smear things out. The Demon King's confidant who can see 1,000 years into the future with magic. And the combined forces of all 7 sages. That's really cool. Anyway, let's see, quote from Blue Sky, he drew them himself. Saito loves dolls this much. The process was he designed the puppets, the professional troupe makes the props, he storyboards, the troupe performs, and Saito animates it with the live action reference. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, heavy reference. Heavy reference used, but not actually... but not fully rotoscoped. He just had a lot of footage and used it as reference. Jesus Christ. These fucking people. Okay. 3, 2... and no, not 3, 2, 1. Fuck off. I still have more to say. It's just for this. Right? This is a shot that... this is like a series of shots that are like... starts at 340... ends at 4:05. So that's like 20 seconds. It's like 25 seconds. That's it. That's all. It's for 20 to 25 seconds of, again, what is necessary, right? Like, what's necessary for what we're doing here. All that would be needed is like a little jankily animated sequence of two puppets, like sort of vaguely whacking at each other. It didn't need to be complex because all it is a bit of B-roll footage to play while someone else is doing exposition, right? Like, that's all it is. It's just B-roll footage to play while exposition happens. It doesn't need to be complicated. You certainly don't need to fucking zoom in like this. It's that effort. They do so much more than they need to in the most inconsequential scenes every time. Good lord. Anyway, now we can continue. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, that's insane. Jesus Christ. The way that the puppet, like, you saw the way the cloak moved over the puppet's arms and stuff. That's also really well observed that, like, fabric, when it's that small, tends to be stiffer. Well, that seems like a useful ability. And how the hell did you lose? Oh, because the other guy could also see the future, right? Three, 2, 1, pause. Hang on. I want to see that little shot. Who do we have here? Frieren is remembering a confrontation with one of the 7 sages, I guess. Is that the guy they killed in season 1. Is that what this is? Would she have encountered him already? I don't quite remember if his character design had, like, I think it had horns, but he had that white mask, sort of horse-like thing. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. I like his mustache. Oh, it's that guy. Okay. Oh, that's the Omniscient. Not quite as ugly as the puppet show, huh? Three, two, one, pause. Another little bit of appreciation here for the frieren team just doing the most without needing to. This talking shot, right? Like classic anime talking shot, which is one in which we do limited animation, which is to say, he's just flapping his lips, so all we're really animating is the lip flaps, right? We just animate lips flapping because we don't need to animate much more than that. Like a little bit of the neck, a little bit, but the rest of it is nothing, right? Limited animation. But do you see that? That is full animation, which is to say the full frame is animated. We are animating the whole character. Why are we animating the whole character? Well, because he blinked, or rather, because he's settling into a different emotional state of mind, right? Like he's talking to a smiling, looking at her. Now he's closing his eyes, and he's sort of reminiscing about the future, basically, right? And so there's this tiny little shift in him, right? Like he's making a tiny little shift of attitude. And the animators are emphasizing that by just doing 1, 2, 3 frames of full animation where you can see this tiny little subtle shift in the posture of his shoulders. Sorry about that notification noise if you heard that. Oh no, you probably didn't. Because it's a tiny little subtle shift. Yeah, you did in chat, but the people on the recording won't, because I'm not recording the audio either, because you get pinged for that shit too. Just this little tiny shift in physical attitude for which they do several frames of full animation. Just cause it helps sell that he's shifting his physical attitude ever so slightly as he admits that someone else is going to save the world and not him, right? Good little acting thing. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, we don't get to hear it? I like that. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. I will clear a path for you. Stark instantly becomes everyone's best friend. I love that so much about him, is that he just makes friends. He's so sociable. I will clear a path for you is a powerful sentiment too. Right? Planting trees in whose shade you will never sit. From you, frieren? Oh. Why is she in such a hurry? Who else is here? Ah, it's a yaoi butler. How annoying is this guy? Ooh. Oh no, now I'm getting hungry. Again? Yeah, good question, actually. The fuck do the demons want with that sword? Oh, real RPG side quest vibes. Fair enough, I guess. Oh no, that's brilliant. Hang on. 3, 2, 1, pause. I love you. Oh, look, it's an Uma Musume cameo. Oh, the animator's having fun here. And again, they're working with well applied limited animation. Right? Because you can see for most of this chew cycle, like the hair, the ears, the eyes, most of the upper bits of the head don't move, right? Like they are still as a rock, right? And that's, yeah, like there's an element of saving effort in that, but it's also about emphasizing, because this entire upper part of the head stays completely stock still. The contrast there emphasizes this this big, goofy, fucking wrinkle-nosed ass. Beautiful chewing animation. Yar, rah, rah, rah. That's fucking gorgeous. Look at the circular motions here. You can trace the arcs of these motions so good. You have these contrasting arcs where, like, the top lip sort of goes... Like, it all goes clockwise, right? The top lip goes this way, the bottom lip goes that way, and they sort of circle around each other. Which, again, is a little caricatured, right? Like, but that is how fucking horses chew cud. That's how they do it. I love you, horse. That's beautiful. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, go. Are we continuing the joke with Stock and the little fish? Oh, that... Don't eat that. Well, jarring shift in tone. Well, you're alive. Yeah, no, I didn't think so. Good way to make them close their eyes for a minute. The way that she just did not blink, right? Like the... Oh. Yeah, Stark, get her ass! Interesting volume stuff they're doing with the smoke clouds. Oh, nuke her from orbit. Jesus Christ. Three, two, one. Pause. Let's have ourselves a little... Let's just take a gander. Once again with the demons. The thing about demons, like, I've talked about this back in season 1, but the thing about demons is, like, there's a whole bunch of far-right anime fans that have latched on to frieren, and it's not hard to see why. Because within the fiction, right, within the fiction of frieren, demons are boogeymen, essentially, right? Like, they are not people. They are these forces of nature, almost. Like, they are nightmare creatures, right? Like, they don't operate on human logic. They don't operate on any... They kill people because they can. Because that is what demons are. That's what demons are in a story. They are these implacable manifestations of evil that just sort of exist in the world, right? And that's, like, okay, within the fiction, we suspend our disbelief and we go, okay, fair enough. Like, that's the premise of the thing. The trouble with that metaphor is that it's in the same way that Tolkien, right? Like, Tolkien wrote the orcs and the uruks and all of that for Lord of the Rings, right? And he didn't intend for any of that to be a racial metaphor necessarily, but he did describe them in terms that were available as coding, right? Like, that were available as something that could be projected over into real life. And indeed, there's a reason why there are so many fucking far-right dipshits naming their military contractor companies after Tolkien shit, right? It's because whatever Tolkien's intentions, the way that he did his world building left this bad faith, but ultimately within the text salient interpretation of the text open. And there wasn't any way to close it. When you do stuff like make the orcs like a corrupt version of the elves, or like whatever, like, and you describe them in many ways like preferring the night or being very dark, where good things are light and bright. There is no way that shit is not available for interpretation through a white supremacist lens. Frieren with the demons has the same problem, is that if you are of a mind to do it, which Nazi dipshits are, you can say, well, yeah, but that's just the same with the way that it is in the real life. It's like, it's not... We have to keep the other races out because their nature is just that they are evil and they destroy things. That's just their nature. That's just science nature thing. It's rational to throw all of the brown people out of the country because of the same reasons that, like, that's just... And it's nothing... We don't have anything against them, really. It's just we're being rational, smart thinkers about race realism, etc. Like, the demons are available as an inroad towards that, because what frieren ultimately accepts in its logic is that there can be people who look like people, who talk like people, who walk like people, who in every measurable way look like people, but you have to destroy them. You have to sweep them out like vermin. You have to erase them from the world, because just by their nature, just by the way that they are put together, they are inherently and implacably and unchangeably a threat to you and your existence and the future of your children, right? It is, no matter what the intentions of the author are, and I don't have much reason to believe that the author is particularly white supremacist or whatever, for no other reason that they're Japanese, but no matter what the intentions of the author are, that interpretation is always available of this text that is always going to be a fundamental part of the story is certain kinds of people have to be eliminated from society because they are a threat to society by the very nature of their being, which is unchangeable, and peace is not possible. Only total eradication and elimination of the other makes it possible for there to be a peaceful world, right? And that is ultimately the same logic as eugenicism. It's the same logic as white supremacy. It's the same logic. It is the same logical steps. It's happening in fiction, right? Where we are inventing a fictional race of magic creatures that just kind of have these traits. But there is no way for that shit not to have that interpretation. Like, the world building will always leave the interpretation available, right? And so long as the demons remain uncomplicated in this way, right? That's always going to be the thing, right? And it's not what the story is intending. A good faith reading of frieren shouldn't come to that conclusion, right? But the thing is, like, Nazis don't give a shit about good faith. Like, fascists don't give a shit about good faith. And that doesn't mean that you have to only write stories that a Nazi could never interpret in an uncharitable way, because, like, they'll do that to anything. It doesn't matter. Like, there's no way to stop them. It's what they do. It's what far right-wing dipshits do in order to appropriate culture for themselves, right? It just means that when you are interpreting the story, you have to keep in mind that even though you don't believe in it, and even though you think it's kind of stupid, and even though you'd have to interpret it in bad faith to get there, you have to keep in mind that these interpretations are available, and that people will be spreading them, and that a show like frieren, no matter the intentions, the same thing happened to Warhammer 40k, right? Like, Warhammer 40k is explicitly about why, like, a fascist death cult is a bad way to run the world. But there's a lot of fascists that love Warhammer 40k because the world is premised on their distorted, warped logic. The premise of the world includes a space for their dipshit moron way of thinking. And you can't, there is no way out of that, right? So what you have to do is you have to be conscious about it. And you have to, when you are in community spaces, you have to watch out for that. You have to watch out for people who have those interpretations and really try to push for them. And that's part of critical scholarship. That's part of being critical of a story, right? Like, that's, you know. And that's something you have to contend with always, by the way. Like, if you watch any media that's more complicated than, you know, a Saturday morning cartoon, these kinds of moral complexities are inherent to media, to fiction. You have to reckon with them. They are always there. This is always the case. It's just, I've seen anime fans trying to do discourse about frieren and getting, like, because It tends to be split between people who see that the interpretation is available, and they go, well, therefore frieren is a fascist show, which is like, no, that you have spotted that it's there. You've maybe taken a step too far to say, therefore, because the interpretation is available, therefore it is fascist, which is like, no, that you need more evidence for that. But then on the other hand, there's the people saying, well, that's stupid. That's not that, you can't interpret it that way. And if you interpret it that way, you're being a dumb, stupid moron. It's like, yeah, no, like, the people who think this are dumb, stupid morons, but you have to recognize what it is in the text that is available for these things. And you have to reckon with it. You have to look at it and see it with clear eyes, that this shit is there. And we don't have to say, cancel frieren and throw it away because it's a morally compromised, tainted, disgusting show or whatever. Like, there would have to be a little bit more to go on before you go that far. But you have to be capable of understanding it. Otherwise, you get more Attack on Titan discourse. Do you want more Attack on Titan discourse? That's how you get more Attack on Titan discourse. Anyway, let's look at cool sword fight. That sword raise there, like the foreshortening of the blade into camera. And the way the blade comes to rest, like, in the hollow of the hand like that. That is a gorgeous foreshortening. Foreshortening. Oh, hey. It's a da meme. I loved that meme so much, by the way. That was one of the best. That was one of the most wonderful times on the internet for a bit when people were doing the frieren looking up meme. It was so good because like the dude made what is technically speaking a bad drawing, right? Like it wasn't a very good drawing of frieren looking up because drawing a character looking up is actually kind of difficult. That's actually like the shape of the jaw and the way that the neck sort of fades into it and like rotating all the features of a face in a way that looks good when your character's looking up. Difficult. Like there's a lot of tutorials out there about it for that reason. But people didn't make fun of it. People, like a bunch of people who were really fucking good at art looked at that and went, oh, okay, like I'll participate, I'll play with him, rather than saying, oh well, that dipshit needs to practice more. They said, oh, I'll play with you. That seems like a fun challenge. That like I'll do this with you, and I'll model the ways in which I can do that too. Right? Like it's up to and including like official storyboard artists on the frieren anime and like some really astonishingly good artists just jumping in and saying, this is a good idea and I'm going to do it too. And not as a way to say I'm so much better than you, but just as to say, yeah, look, this is cool. We can do that. We can all do it together. It was so nice because no one was just saying, oh, well, fuck that guy for trying. No one was saying that. No one said fuck that guy for trying. Everyone said, oh, it's so fucking cool that you tried. I'll come join you. That was so nice. It was just so nice to see. It was just such a pleasant thing to see on the internet. That someone earnestly trying, like, gets to inspire a whole bunch of good art like that. Cool little trick here. As the demon, like, kicks off the air, they do, like, one vanish frame. Right? Like, to give that sense of, like... To give that sense of suddenness to it. More of those... Yeah, they really love their wobbly speed lines, don't they? And then they're doing something interesting. This is not traditionally animated smoke. They're doing something here. This looks like a solarized... Yeah, this looks like solarized 3D VFX. Where they've just added like a heavy contrast shader on top of that shit. That does not look like hand-animated smoke. That's a little... I like hand-animated smoke. I think, like, the smoke cloud over here, like the one that's bursting out there, kind of looks like it might be... No, actually, it looks... That's probably also a visual effect. I like hand-animated smoke clouds. Like, they do them very good in a lot of episodes. It looks like they just kind of took a shortcut there to save some... effort. I don't begrudge them that. It just doesn't look as good to me as properly animated volumetric smoke that someone, like... I love that the fencing here is so grounded. Like, they're not just doing Dragon Ball clashing into each other shit. You can see the... Like, the parry. Her sword arm comes away. He takes a swing. She dodges. Stab, dodge. Like, you can see the motions of it. Follow that momentum into an overhead strike. And then she sort of twirls over his back. Like, she moves she gets in under the axe, moves it out of the way, twirls over his back, and then she tries to go for frieren instead. Which is clever fighting, like, because she needs to get through the frontliner and get to the actual backliners. With a gorgeous push into... Deflect one. Dodge. Lots of flashing here, I guess. Do a little Dark Souls roll. Take full advantage of the iframes, and then... I like the action of her putting up the defensive spell is literally her holding out her hand and staff and, like, blocking physically as well. That's a good way to sort of align. So if you don't know what... Like, if you don't know what the defensive spell looks like intuitively, you can intuit from her pose and posture what the effect is. Again, it looks like these effects are much more sort of Adobe After Effects rather than hand-drawn. Which, again... Not sure if I'm a huge fan of that, but it works. I like the pushback you can see on the sword here. Like the way that it has to struggle to get through the barrier. And then it pushes ahead. And that the push on the barrier also provides like a physical push on Fern. But then Captain MVP comes in. And, like, he's taking advantage of her structure, right? Like, she's in a thrust forward towards Fern, so Stark comes in from below, where she doesn't have a lot of power to push down. And then he, like... puts her sword in the ground and a boot in her stomach. They... The animator really wanted us to know exactly all the... That's a tight clinging dress there. It looks good, don't get me wrong. It's just like, okay, it didn't seem like it was that tight of a dress. I do like the orbital nuke. Yeah, again with the what looks like 3D generated smoke, which, you know. But I do like that the solution is like just nuke her from orbit. Boosh. Only way to be sure. Good fight. 3, 2, 1, go. You were all about to close your eyes. Seriously, though, what do they want with that sword? It's interesting that the demons would have any kind of, like, sentimental desire for a sword. Like, what does that sword mean to the demon? Yeah, and if a few peasants pay the cost, who cares? Just destroy it then. Just break the sword. Like, get rid of it. Again, it feels like if you just destroyed the sword and built nicer walls. Is it a scratch to remove the smell from farts or something? Is it a spell to remove the smell from farts? About the same. But I do like, as I've said many times, I do like that frieren is so into the inconsequential spells that don't mean anything, that have no power, right? Like, that have no violence in them. I do like that. Like, that to me is philosophically part of what makes frieren an interesting protagonist, right? Because, like, you think of a lot of shonen, it'd be like, I'm looking for the most powerful superpower in the power world to do power stuff or power things because shonen, right? Like, it's looking for the most ultimate powerful technique to become the most ultimate powerful super fighter. And frieren's quest is, no, I want a spell that makes a rock do little twirls in the air. I want a spell that cleans out a cauldron. I want a spell that makes apples green. Like, I like that that's what she cares about, right? Which is part of what they do with the argument with Ciri, right? Like, part of the reason why Ciri cannot defeat the Demon King is because she cannot envision a world without that necessity for violence, right? And frieren can, because that's what she cares about. Like, she's not interested in being the most super powerful super mage on the super world. She wants to have cool, neat little spells that do funny things. And that's why she is capable of being the one who defeats. Oh, is this the Hot Springs episode, finally? Huh. Like, she cares about these things. She cares about things that are useless, right? That are inconsequential, but just neat. Which is why she is the one capable of bringing peace to the world, along with Himmel. And Ciri isn't, right? Like, which is one way in which that the frieren is, from a certain point of view, significantly more powerful than Ciri, is because she has that capacity to imagine things that Ciri simply cannot. And I like that as a thematic part of the storytelling of the show. I like that. The power to seek peace comes from being able to imagine a better world, right? Like, from being able to conceptualize it, imagine it. Which is something that's like true. Like, even if you work in like modern politics, like, a lot of the work of organizing and activism is finding a way to make other people see the world that you believe is possible, right? Make people accept your vision that a better world is possible. That's one of the most difficult parts. Like, so many people are so stuck in, well, the world that there is the one that is possible. right? It's we can maybe make some fix a few things here and there, or we can do some reforms and changes, but we can't change the world fundamentally, right? Like nothing revolutionary is ever possible, because no, we're stuck with the world that we have now. Like it's the kind of thing that the hell's the philosopher's name? Is it David Graeber? Calls, like, in our current political climate is capitalist realism, right? Is a lot of people find it impossible to conceptualize the idea of a world that doesn't run on our current economic system, even though there have been worlds before this that didn't run on it, that had different modes of being put together, and those were overturned. Like, a lot of people struggle to conceptualize the idea that it is possible through concerted political effort to make a fundamentally different world. But it is. It is possible. We've done it many times before, and there's no reason why it couldn't be done again. But that's the hard part of political organizing, is having a vision and being able to turn that vision into praxis. And I do like that in frieren. Not necessarily that I think if frieren is a socialist anarchist or whatever, but in the way that the power system of the world is organized around the idea that you can only do what you can envision, right? And frieren was able to bring peace because she can envision peace, because that's where her mind is. Not because she necessarily has a unified political theory, but she has a vision of a peaceful world that is possible. And I like that. Like, that is thematically very clever. Anyway, that was season 2, episode 2. Which I did first time. No other takes on this. Hooray! So now we can go and watch episode 3. But if you want to do that, you're gonna have to subscribe or maybe become a member. Presumably, I'm gonna have uploaded a bunch of these, and there's gonna be some available for members in early access, and you can see those if you become a member, and then you can see them, because if that's what membership does. Anyway, bye.